Back to Matt Patrick.
KTRH News Time is 7:17. Great to have you listening this morning. Joining me right now is Deacon Pedro from St. Jerome Church. Deacon, welcome to Houston's Morning News. I know you're headed to Mexico to see the Pope. 84% of Mexicans claim to be Catholic in the 2010 census, but that number is actually going down. Why do you think that is, Deacon?
Well, I think it's right now people is getting a lot of confused of what's going on with the Catholic Church and everything, because we have to understand that all those things happens in the church in the past, and sometimes the people it's lost their faith for a little bit. But I think when the Pope came back to Mexico, those Catholics is going to believe back, and we going to gain those people back and coming to be in our faith. Deacon,
the Pope will speak, many think, on church and state as it applies to Mexico, because still in Mexico, they do not allow Catholics to worship outside of the church. Is that correct? Would you think the Pope will speak to that?
I think he will speak of that little bit, and to make it clear, because sometimes it's hard to Catholics understand and do the worship, like you said, outside the church. And sometimes we have to be careful, when we do something outside. But I think one of the reasons the Pope came to Mexico is talking a little bit about that, and also talking about other issues happening in Mexico right now.
And I would assume you're talking about the drug cartels, who, by the way, Deacon, I'm sure you've heard, and this is good news for you since you'll be there, they have said that there will be no violence with the Pope in Mexico. Do you believe that?
Well, I just looked in the news last night and also this morning. I think I'm not 100% sure, because they said it's not going to be nothing that happened between this weekend. But it was really something that happened real bad over the last 2 days, last 24 hours. So I think I'm not believe 100% is going to be a stop, but I think it's going to be working a little bit better than that. So.
And I certainly hope, Deacon, that the Pope addresses the violence in Mexico. I'm sure that is something that will certainly come up. Deacon, if you would be kind enough to hang on when we come back, a subject that is difficult to talk about, but I'm interested in your thoughts as to whether or not the Pope will talk about some of the sexual predators, the pedophile accusations and convictions against priests. If the Pope will address that, in your opinion, Deacon Pedro from St. Jerome Church. The deacon will be in Mexico when the Pope arrives. That's going to be fantastic. As a Catholic, Deacon, one of the darkest moments in the Catholic Church, of course, is the abuse by priests of children, boys in particular. Do you think the Pope will be addressing this in Mexico?
He's going to address that little bit, because also it was a book coming up and talking about all the abuse that happened in Mexico, and not just in Mexico, in other countries. And he will talk a little bit, because I think he needs to rest. And I know he's going to talk a little bit about to giving those support to all those families and all those people who's being abused by the priests and seminaries and everything. As part of one of the reasons he's going to talk, and I think Saturday when they meet with the media and with the president in Mexico too.
That is very interesting, Deacon. You got to be very excited on a personal level to be going to Mexico to meet the Pope. I would assume you're probably not getting much sleep at night. That is very exciting.
Yes, I'm really excited. You know what? When we're talking about a couple of months ago when we were supposed to go to Mexico, and then I have another responsibility, because our archdiocese called me and they says, all the media is going to come and talk to me about it. And also, I was thinking when I began, I thought we could have a vacation and a couple of rest days when I was in Mexico. But it looks like it's not. We have agenda, really a busy agenda when we're going to be in Mexico. But it's really exciting.
Oh, yes.
Not just because represent our town, Houston, but also the archdiocese in Mexico.
Deacon, I look forward to talking to you when you come back. God bless you and have a safe trip to Mexico. Deacon Pedro from St. Jerome Church.